Hey everyone, so in this video, I actually decided to add this to the course later on. I basically, at this point, I've actually completed the entire course and the whole outline, but someone left a review that brought up a really good point, and I thought about this. It was just something I thought really should be added to the course, and I wanted to add it at the very beginning, and that's kind of giving you an expectation of sort of what you're going to be paying for some of the tools and things that I suggest you use. I made a little bit of a text document here, and I will include that in the lecture. You'll be able to go and view this in the text format to kind of give you a ballpark idea of really what you'd be investing to get this going. I'd say with, if you've got probably about $150 to $200 to invest in actually building out your site, that's probably an ideal mark. Obviously, I've designed this course so that you could turn this into a full business if you chose to over time. It doesn't have to just be Amazon affiliates. You can go beyond that, as I get into in about week 6. But just to give you a little bit of an idea, in the course I do recommend a tool called Pro Associate, which is used to basically build out your store full of products that are using Amazon affiliates. That runs about $40. You can use it on as many sites as you want, so if you did decide to use it, build multiple sites, you could do that. Although I don't actually recommend that through the course. I do recommend focusing on the one site to build it up and get it to be, profitable and going. Maybe once you've got it profitable and things are kind of on autopilot, then you could move on to other sites. In terms of a theme, you could get a free theme if you get Pro Associate. It does come with a few themes, but they're very kind of cut and dry. They really don't stand out all that much. If you really want to get a good theme in the course, I do go into some suggestions on premium themes, and generally those run anywhere from I think $40 to $60 or beyond if you're going to get something really advanced. In the course I talk about advertising. That's obviously something that's completely optional, but if you do decide to do it, you could pay as little as $10 depending on where you go. There's a site I suggest later on in the course. And social media, obviously that's kind of free if you're doing it on your own. But in terms of getting help, there is a section later on in the course where I do cover outsourcing, and if you do decide to outsource social media, then yes, it will cost you money. General outsourcing, I do, obviously, like I said, I cover later in the course, doing things like SEO and product descriptions and other things like that. If that's not something you're going to do yourself, you may find, if you could hire someone off of a site like Odesk, you could probably get someone pretty cheap, for $3 to $4 an hour, and just teach them exactly what to do, what you're looking for, and then you could walk away, spending maybe $50 to $100 a month is kind of what I'd estimate, depending on how quickly you want things done. If you're really going to get advanced, in week 6, I talk about outsourcing I talk about selling on Amazon and eBay and some of doing more advanced things. If you're going to be selling on Amazon with a pro account, it runs about $40 a month. And if you're going to set up your own business and then register an official business to run behind the store, that's probably I use the service called LegalZoom, which I talk about later, and I spent close to almost $1,000 to get the business registered. There are base fees with each state, and it varies from state to state. You'd have to check with them. But I do cover that later on in the course. I don't want to make that a main focus, or that really is not a requirement to have an Amazon affiliate store. And beyond that, if you do decide to get more serious about your store and you decide to start buying inventory, to give you a little bit of an idea from my experience, most wholesalers, if they're a real true wholesaler, they're not fake or anything, or they're probably going to charge you roughly $200 to $250 bare minimum to purchase inventory that you could stock and then resell for a higher profit. So that's kind of like the baseline. I'd say really at bare minimum, if you really want to get going, getting Pro Associate and buying a premium theme would probably be your best bet, because that's going to allow you to get things built out properly, and it's also going to allow you to portray a really successful looking site, a physical site. There is one other thing too. If you do decide to go beyond everything else, there's an SSL certificate, but that's very cheap. It's under $10 if you go with a basic kind of run-of-the-mill. So that should give you kind of an expectation of sort of cost in this program. Thanks.